Hi, I'm Dom Hind, and fuck, I'm nearly 50. Actually, I'm 47 and 3/4. And the closer I get, the more I'm learning about myself. Not just about who I've been, but about who I want to be in the second half of my life. This stage, it's going to be about getting clear, going deeper, and setting myself up for the best chapter yet. Today's guest, he's been in my orbit for years, but not from back in our Ipswich days. I went to Ipswich Girls Grammar, he went to Ipswich Grammar. We didn't know each other then, probably for the best, because while he was doing the full academic and sporting honours, I was getting politely asked to leave after a couple of years. Fast forward to now, and life's been full of fun collisions. Watching our kids create chaos when they were young, last-minute water taxi escapes, hearing all about the junkets and walking 5 kilometres a day while in COVID quarantine. And a lot of laughs. And yes, those legendary taco and margarita nights at To Kill a Mockingbird, when our health actually allowed it. Because Shane Watson, or Watsy to me, isn't just a cricket legend. He's a mindset-obsessed barbecue pitmaster with scientific precision, slow-cooking devotee, and someone who's ridiculously disciplined when he puts his mind to something. Whether it's smashing a World Cup final innings, smoking a brisket for 12 hours, or building his business, he goes all in. These days, he's co-founder of BEON Performance, a platform helping people master the mental game, whether they're chasing athletic greatness, business success, or just trying to level up in life. But to get here, he's had to unlearn professionalism, rebuild his identity, and start again without the roar of the crowd. This episode is about pressure, pivots, pulled pork, and proving there's still a chance even when the rules change. Because fuck, I'm nearly 50, and isn't it amazing? Most people know Watsy for his cricketing career, smashing sixes, taking wickets, wearing the baggy green with pride, and having great tussles on the pitch and sometimes off the pitch with his own teammates. What they don't know, he's the guy who'll wake up early and walk around the block, turn a casual picnic into a full production without cutlery. Can you remember that? Yep. Happily spend all day on the barbecue, perfecting low and slow brisket, and jump in a water taxi without hesitation if it means getting off a boat.
That's true.
When it matters, he can switch on his discipline like a light, but he's just as happy kicking back and talking about anything but cricket. We go beyond the game today into the mindset struggles behind the stats. The challenges of walking away from a sport that defined him and surprising freedom that comes when you back yourself into your next chapter. Watsy, welcome to Fuck I'm Nearly 50.
It's a lovely intro. We've got plenty to go have a deep dive, don't we?
Yeah. How would you introduce yourself if you couldn't use a cricket reference?
Oh, gosh. That's a tough one because cricket's been my life and I'm unbelievably proud of it and it's given me an amazing life. So it'd be hard. I'd probably just define myself and my characteristics have sort of been built in around me being the best cricketer I could be.
Okay, and what are those characteristics?
Desperation to be the best I can be. Honest, caring. Probably all in all, just hard work. Yeah,
you are definitely hard work. And I will also put loyal in there as well.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you go up in a team sport. You have to be.
Yep.
That's one of the skills that you develop.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like those. I like that definition. And it is hard because cricket definitely has been your life. And it still is.
Still is.
You know, a large part of your life. Saying that, what are you doing now? Like with cricket, how are you still involved in cricket?
So I'm very fortunate. I'm still involved in a number of different ways. Yeah, which is what I love. So I'm doing commentating whenever the opportunity arises. More so over in the subcontinent, over in India in particular, for the Indian Premier League. doing like ICC events, so like T20 World Cups or World Cups. Not so much here in Australia, unfortunately. And coaching wise, mainly over. I've done the IPL assistant coach to Ricky Ponting for Delhi Capitals for a few years now. Major League Cricket in the US, head coach of the San Francisco Unicorns.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that's been a really cool ride and journey so far, and the amazing people I've met in and around that franchise have been something that I normally wouldn't get access to. Or so that. And
do you know what? Sorry, the thing that I think is really interesting about cricket in the US is what Beckham did for soccer and how it literally has changed it. And if cricket can do similar, what an amazing journey.
Oh, there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah.
And world cricket's seen it for the last 10 or 15 years, but they've really now started to get there, get it all in place. So some super wealthy, successful Indian heritage people, mainly guys, have moved to the US, have done incredibly well, especially in the tech space, and now they've invested into cricket in the US. So they're really making it happen. So there's a
big push.
massive opportunity, as long as there's always been a little bit of shenanigans around US cricket. So hopefully they just get out of the way to make sure that it happens. But politics do get in the way of a lot of different sports and things in general, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah. So that's, and I'm still mentoring, like one-on-one mentoring some cricketers here in Australia, around the world as well. So I'm still heavily involved with my son Will, helping him on his cricket journey that he loves, and helping him when he needs help. Not pushing help. When he needs help and he wants help. So I'm still heavily involved in it, because I absolutely love the game as much as I did as a kid.
I can remember even when Will was growing up, you didn't push him into cricket, and he didn't get interested in cricket until, like 7?
Yeah, about 7 or 8, yeah.
And it was just interesting that you were just letting him be and not pushing it. And, I think that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, I was never going to push my kids into any sort of direction that I wanted them to go. It's whatever sparked their interest and whatever they really got into and loved. So really picked up cricket and the love of cricket from being on tour with me. With the last year that Lee, Will and Matilda came over, my wife and 2 kids came over when I was playing the Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah.
And that was the time where he just saw how
good it was.
Yeah, how cool it was, and being around a team environment with other kids his age, and they love cricket. So from then on, it's just been for him something that he's just obsessed about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, all right. You've played in front of hundreds of thousands of people. That's just scary, even thinking about it. What's something that's tripped you up mentally that no one would expect?
I think the main thing would trip me up and other people is when you really take in the enormity of the situation and go, what happens if once I make a mistake here in front of 100,000 people or 90,000 people and the millions of people watching at home? And that's especially the start of my career. I was too aware. I thought of that too much. Once if I make a mistake and it actually means that it could be a critical moment in the game, and it means that my team potentially loses because of one mistake that I make. And that was always at times that would be a thought that would come in, like a World Cup final. When there's a lot of people watching and a lot riding on it. But that's where, just through experience, you had to realise you had to shut that off and just think about the right thing, because otherwise you would get in your own way, and there was more chance of actually doing something wrong or embarrassing that then you won't live it down for the rest of your life.
Well, and I think that's so true, isn't it? When it's part of what we'll talk about, but if you're focused on the wrong thing normally does happen.
Well, more chance of happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to change it. Get into something else.
Yeah.
Was there a moment when you thought, this is the best gig in the world, and another where you thought, I can't do this anymore?
I suppose there's one moment, and this was right at the start of my Aussie career. I was in the test squad of my first tour in South Africa, and I was in the squad. I was never going to play, but I was just there as a young guy to sort of learn the ropes in a way. And the second test match of that series, the Aussies won and dominated. And as a celebration, which would happen after a test match win, it was like a Bucks night in a way,
Yeah.
where it was huge celebrations. I really like mateship and everything that goes with playing for Australia, but it was like not fully unhinged, but like sort of as much as you could. Like it was like I was like, so we ended up like singing the team song up on the top of Table Mountain in
Oh,
Cape Town.
wow.
Yep. And I
And you got
remember,
up there in the dark.
yeah, in the dark. Yep. After the test match, yeah, we're up in the dark, and I remember as we sort of had sung the song, and again, I didn't play in the test match, but I was like feel like I was part of it. And I was like, honestly, this has to be the best gig in the world. This is
Yeah.
outrageous. And that was before I even played a test match or a one-day game. So I knew I've got a lot of hard work to be able to try and keep this, make this my life for a while. But that was the time where, yeah, I was like, has to be the best gig in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly, it's never been I hate the game, because I always love the game.
Yeah.
It's like I hate this situation I'm in.
Mm.
And how am I going to get out of it? It was after the test match. It ended up being my last test match in Cardiff in 2015. I hadn't scored runs. I was going through a pretty tough time across the board, and especially with my performances. And I remember like the outside of the hotel at that time, so that was 2015, we had Will and Matilda. The press were just everywhere trying to get comment. Are you going to play in the next test match? And that was the time where, that was the time I was like, this is not enjoyable at all.
Yeah.
And
And
it ended up,
I'm sure you were probably already like in your own mindset going, how do I get out?
Oh, yeah.
What do I do? And that was the internal struggles. And then you had all of these external factors coming at you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I at that time I had no answers for what was going on in my mind as well.
Yeah.
So, and then like a day later, it got leaked that I was dropped, even though I hadn't been told.
Right.
And then it was the next day where, the late great Rod Marsh, who's the chairman of selectors, came up to me at Lords, in the lead up to the second test match and said, "Look, I've got no idea how that got out, but it actually is right, and you are dropped." So those couple of days were like, this is
Get me home.
This is not great. And again, at that time, because I had no answers for my performance and where I was at in my mind, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to get out of this.
Do you think teams back then actually did enough to help you mentally prepare for that, or how you could mentally get yourself into the zone?
No.
Do you think it's changed now?
Not really.
Really?
Not enough. Like at that time, like within like in Australian cricket, we just about over that time we had for probably 3 or 4 years and maybe 5 years had a sports psychologist on tour.
Yeah, right.
But that sports psychologist was more there for the captain and coach to sort of like navigate their way through being leaders, or if your life, not performance, if your life outside of cricket was starting to spiral a bit,
right.
that he was there like for that, not there to really work as with individuals and as a group on your mental skills, your like performance based mindset.
Yeah.
That was just not there, and it's still not there much at all, which is just, it blows me away knowing like all performance, a huge part of it is mental. You need to have the skills.
Yeah.
You need to have the technical prowess to be able to, as a starting point, as a baseline. But then on top of that, you need the mental skills to compound that skill that you've worked so hard to be able to develop. And it's just not done anywhere near enough. And now that, that's sort of the direction that I've moved into with a big part of my life now, I just get blown away that it's just not done at all, and everyone's just got to navigate their way themselves.
It's so interesting. I think it is interesting, not only in sport, but just also in life as well. Like we spend all this money trying to get fit, trying to get like on your physical, on, and just the doctors, the health, everything. But mentally, sometimes you need to get out of your brain and get someone to actually give you the guidance to make sure that you are being shaped or thinking about things in the right way.
Yeah.
And we're not doing it in any part of our life.
No. You think about the kids going through school, they learn all they develop these skills and knowledge and everything like that and they become so proficient at it if they work hard enough. But then if they need to apply it in a real pressurized situation where if they get it wrong, they don't want to know the consequences of it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the curriculum. There's nothing out there at the moment where it actually helps understand the mental side. So you've got more chance of being able to access all those skills, and especially when you don't want to know what's on the other side of a bad performance.
Yeah. Or how you can try and get yourself out of that bad performance.
Yeah,
as well.
and absolutely. If you do have a bad performance, which is always going to happen, how do I navigate my way out of that to be able to learn from it and not continue to dig a really deep hole and then take a long time to be able to get out of it?
I even think, I was thinking about this the other day, even with kids nowadays, even with bullying and how you get yourself out of that mental, that mindset, because in that place where the kids are being bullied, they're already having those discussions in their mind thinking, I'm not good enough. What can I be doing? And what am I doing wrong? And I mean, that sets themselves up for that, that lifelong journey of a little bit of, the negativity and the mindset creep that you don't want them to have.
That's it. One of the most powerful things that anyone can understand is that internal dialogue, that mind show that's going on, that you are actually in control of that script of what's being said if you really want to take control. And the earlier you understand that and develop that skill of knowing how to be able to, if you're starting to have the wrong thoughts, to be able to catch it and what the right thoughts are for you, or what's a default thought, to be able to just make sure you've moved your thoughts away from the wrong thoughts. Because if you don't, then that just it spirals, and before you know it, you're in a pretty dark place. Even like for bullying, even though it's not your fault at all, it's had nothing to do with you apart from someone who's their own power trip. They've found a weakness in someone else, and they just try to make themselves feel better about making someone feel penetrating their weakness.
They're all got their own insecurities, and they're playing it out on someone else. I do love the default, like the default thing. And I know that I've been through the BEON performance mindset, but the default and making sure you have a default, it helps so much because as soon as your mind starts to wander, you can just bring it back.
One of the most important things out of like the mental skills information that I teach is what is your default, what is your anchor? Yeah. That if stuff's going down, and there's always going to in life, the wrong things that you don't want are going to be thrown at you. Yeah. What is the default thought for you to anchor yourself to, so then you don't allow yourself to go into a deep hole? Yeah. And that's different for different people, but you have to define exactly what it is for you. And for me, it's putting a song into my head, and it was during my cricket days. The back end of my cricketing days, and it still is now. When something occurs that you're like, how the hell? Why has that happened? What's that going to mean? And all the different what if all that stuff. It's like, no, I've got to stop that. Put a song into my head, and that's a way to be able to just get your mind away from it.
What's your go-to song, or does it just change?
It changes. The music I'm listening to at that moment in time. Yeah, it just shifts. But I always have like a couple of songs ready to go. Though
you love country though too, don't you?
I love country. I do love.
You've been in the States too long now.
Oh, I love country. Yeah, heartfelt lyrics and that. Do love it. Soulful voices.
We've spoken about perfectionism, or you have spoken about it particularly. When did you realise it was holding you back rather than helping you?
It was probably at a time where, because of my injuries that I had throughout my career, it got to a stage where I had to totally change my whole training regime. Right. And more so, I'd say more so from a skill-based perspective, because I was chasing perfectionism. I was chasing being perfect with all my skills, batting, bowling and fielding. Yeah. And that would mean I would overtrain in a huge way, because if I didn't get it right, I kept going. Even like the day before a test match, day before a one-day game, if I didn't feel like I got it right, I'd just keep going and going until I felt like I got it right, which meant that I was fatigued and I actually didn't really get it right. Yeah. So that would mean that I'd go into a game, I'd be physically fatigued, and then I'd get an injury. Yeah. So things shifted when I had a physio looking after me, Victor Popov, who was just one of the best physios in the world, physiotherapists, and his amazing experiences. And he talked to me about making sure that I did just enough.
Just
enough.
Just enough.
And that was all around being able to stay on the field, so reduce the chance of getting injured.
Yeah, right.
So as soon as I moved to that, then I realized that I couldn't be perfect at training.
Yeah.
Because there would be a week, for example, where I'd have a full recovery week where I'd do like half the amount of what I'd do previously for the previous 3 weeks. And that meant that I had to trust my skills and trust what I actually had inside of me. And then I had some good performances and I realized, what the hell have I been doing?
Yeah.
So it wasn't me trying to chase perfectionism. It certainly did help me develop my skills quicker than other people.
Yeah, right. Because you put the time in.
Because I just pushed the limit and I wanted to be perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
But it also meant during that period of time, though, one, I went into games fatigued, but two, I wasn't necessarily at my best consistently as well because I didn't think I was good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of going, and the perfect sort of balance of that is chasing being perfect, knowing that it's actually not possible.
Yeah, yeah.
But chasing it, so you work your absolute butt off and find the right people to get as close to being perfect, but then letting yourself go, not overtraining, as in not going to games fatigued mentally and physically, but then also knowing that what you've got right there and then, you've just got to bring the best you've got right there and then, whether you're 21 or whether you're 35.
Yeah.
So that's what I coach now, whether it's with my son, Will, whether it's with the cricketers that I work with, it's a great thing to chase at because it means you've got the fire in your belly to be as good as you can. But then you've got to then move away from and go, well, you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
But you've got to get as close as you can to it.
It's interesting. The recovery piece, I didn't realize how important it actually is. Because I will just keep going and train it. But you don't realize that you do actually need to take a break. And that's where that just enough, that's actually really good advice.
And that's where I would just I didn't turn it off either. So I would the pattern throughout a period of time in my career was I would just be going so hard.
Yeah.
For 6 weeks, bang, injured.
Yeah.
And then I'd be rehab, recovering from injury. And then I'm back.
Probably 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off,
yep,
6 weeks on.
Yeah, because I'd just be pushing the limit all the time and then get injured and then it'd be the same pattern over and over again.
So consistency is
that's right. And then as soon as Victor Popov came in and just deconstructed and pulled apart everything that I was doing, that theme was we got to stop that.
But isn't that interesting as well, though, with trying to seek perfection? That's all about in your mind too. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you'd been taught that earlier on.
Because people would see me at training beating myself up. If I dropped a catch in practice, I'd be going hard at myself. If I bowled a bad ball, I'd be going hard at myself. I'd be nailing myself.
Not only in training, you would do it when you played as well. And people could see that you were pissed off because you were you wore the expression everywhere.
Everywhere.
Because you beat yourself up to try and be perfect.
Yep. Whether it's in training or in the game as well. And the comments would always be, his body language is not good. You can see when he's going well or not. And they're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But I had no idea of actually what that meant.
Yeah.
And how that was really having a big impact on my ability to be able to be at my best every time.
But isn't it so annoying that it was only at the end of your career or, towards the end of your career that you realised how important the mindset stuff is.
Yeah, but it was just meant to be.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is. Everything happens for a reason.
To be. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't have, the light wouldn't have would been as bright when I was like, oh my gosh, that's been the missing link. And I was lucky enough that it was still while I was still playing, even though I'd got retired from Test cricket.
Yeah.
And one day cricket, retired, I still was able to actually put those skills, those new mental skills into play and troubleshoot them in game instead of retrospectively go, look, if I had my time again, I would have done this, but I actually implemented it for like 5 years of me playing these mental skills. So now anytime someone asks a question around the mental side of performance, I
At
know
least
it
you know.
inside out because I've actually
yeah.
lived and breathed
Yeah.
it. So I wouldn't have it any other way, even though, and that's why now I'm trying to get this information out to as many people as possible. So their journey isn't, they can start implementing these skills from a younger age instead of having to go through 14 years of professional cricket.
Getting to the next stage after retirement, did you plan the next chapter, or were you a bit shocked and a bit lost when your proper playing cricket days ended?
So I was very, I'd say I was very scared.
Yes.
About that end date. I overthought it a lot.
Right.
Probably like 3 or 4 years out.
Right.
So if I had any downtime, I would be like, what am I going to do in the next phase of my life? And be really chasing that. So I didn't, because I'd seen so many of my mates, whether that was the first class cricketers who just played state cricket, or Aussie players, and some just like fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
And so I was very, I was very concerned about it. So I just I was looking into the future. What potentially am I going to move to?
Yeah.
Is it going to be coaching? Is it going to be commentary? Is there something else that I can do that I really love? And that's where it started out. Well, I want to get into coaching because I do love the game. I want to be able to help people. But then it was like, I know like the missing piece for me to be able to have a advantage over the other coaches is the mindset. And that was even before I met Jacques Dallaire who taught me up in the mental performance. So, but then and I had a longer career. I finished playing at 39 professionally. Like my last IPL season was 39. So I was one of the lucky ones as well. I was able to play
during COVID.
During COVID, I was able to play up until I was 39, whereas not that many people have that chance. So I know I was lucky. But then when it turned off, I then set up a cricket equipment business and chased that so hard, even though. Yeah, and it didn't end up working out, and I learned a lot.
Do you know what? It gave you something to focus on.
It did.
And I think that's the best thing about that was you had something else to focus on.
I needed to repurpose my energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that certainly was, even though, again, it didn't work out, but I learned a ridiculous amount of lessons from it.
Yes.
About business, about the e-commerce, about the tech world, and that sort of stuff that I wouldn't have learned, especially the hard way. That's when we learned the most. So that was a way. And Lee, my wife, she could see that, I had to redirect my my energy, that I was chasing it so hard because I was worried about, because I'd seen a number of my mates who had really struggled.
Yeah, and it's with all professional sports as well. It's that you're out of that daily routine or that competition, and it's like, what do I do now?
Yep.
But I think it's also even when, a lot of men retire as well, they have invested so much of themselves in work that they don't have, a lot of the connections or the interests or whatever to actually help them bridge the gap into retirement. And
that's for athletes, it happens earlier in your life.
Yes.
Whereas across the board, men and women, when they either about to retire or there's a transition phase in their life because of the work opportunities that have arisen, it's a cliff.
Yeah.
You've got to find out the best way to be able to try and reduce how high that cliff is.
Yeah.
and it's so daunting. It is. But just for athletes, it's earlier in your life.
Yeah.
But it's still the same thought process. It's the same transition. You're like, how can I repurpose my energy?
Yeah.
Do I need to repurpose my energy and support my family financially?
Yeah.
Or is it repurpose my energy because I'm set up financially fine, but I can't just like sit on the couch.
No.
That's not going to last that long. Maybe for 3 days, and you're like, stop this.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's like
Yeah.
the downward spiral
Yeah.
would start to, where's my purpose?
Yeah.
What am I doing? How do I get out of here?
Yeah.
For people who don't know, what is BEON or BEON Performance, and why did you create it?
So BEON Performance is a mental performance coaching business that I set up initially with Dr. Jacques Dallaire, who's a mental performance coach from the US. His background's in Formula One, NASCAR, IndyCar, fighter pilots, special forces, corporate coaching, whatever it is. I got introduced to Jacques Dallaire from Willpower, Aussie IndyCar driver. He's still driving now. He's won 2 IndyCar championships in the last 10 years. So I got introduced to him. I was at a random awards, Dally M's, which I've only been there once at that time and never been there since.
Wow. Yeah.
And met Willpower, who's going through a similar time in his career around the fear of performing and the fear of what might happen if you make a mistake. He connected me up with Jacques Dallaire, and that was the time. It was 2015 where I'd got dropped from Test cricket, retired from Test cricket, and I had no answers at that time of what was going on with my performances because I was performing nowhere near my best. Then I met Jacques Dallaire. I flew over to Charlotte because I was desperate. Lee, my wife, was desperate as well to you need to get some help. You're nowhere.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So I flew over, spent 2 days with Jacques, and he taught me this information that, it was so profound. Yeah. And then from that moment on, then applying it and seeing the benefits immediately. I knew straight away before I even tried to apply it. Yeah. Just I know how I'm going to apply it, but then actually applying it and performing out in the field, that's where I was like, this information is not readily available. Yeah. I know it's definitely not in Australia, not in the cricket world. Yeah. So set up a business, BEON Performance with Jacques, and sort of ended up morphing into, because of COVID and mainly where Jacques would come out and teach the information and I'd sort of provide the context around how I applied it. Yeah. Now I've been taught up how to teach this information. I've got a licensing agreement with Jacques, and now I'm just trying to educate as many people as possible. I released a book.
Hang on, you self-published that one
initially,
here,
and I wouldn't have self-published if I didn't have learned the learnings from T20 Stars. So I've self-published the first version of the book, Winning the Inner Battle, and then to be able to
was that hard writing that book?
No.
Well, because okay. Why?
No. Because it was the information that I got taught, the framework of the information, and then just my way that I used it or didn't use it. And I had an amazing writer, Alex Malcolm, who's a cricket writer who did play a lot of cricket, second 11 cricket and grade cricket. So his ability to be able to put the speaking word into a written word to make it really engaging.
The Watsy word into written word.
Exactly, to make sure that it's coherent. And I had Gideon Haig, who's an amazing writer, cricket writer and writer in general, who edited it for me as well. So, so that was, and then self-publishing it, that was a great experience, sending the books out, sending the books out from home, fulfilling the orders, but then knowing for distribution, how to get it out to more people, get into the bookstores. Had HarperCollins published the next version, which was The Winner's Mindset. Right. So that was a way, and released that in India as well.
Yeah, so, perfect. That's
BEON Performance it's an education. It's a way to be able to try and educate as many people, whether it's written a book, whether it's an online course, which I released about 12 months ago, and also right now finding other ways to be able to get this information out, whether it's in university, schools, just so many different ways to be able to get it out the corporate world. Yeah, because it's something that's very sadly, it's not readily available to make people understand in really simple layman's terms. How can I have the right thoughts at the right time to be able to perform at my best?
I think, because I have been through it, and I think one of the things that Justin still uses with me is the A factors and B factors. And the other thing is don't connect things that aren't meant to be connected. And I'm like, no, there's got to be some conspiracy here. No.
Yeah, that's right.
But, even the B factors. And can you explain a bit around the A and the B factors? Because I think that's really interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it is for sure.
I
So,
do.
so the performance equation is an equation that Jacques sort of put together when he was working through what are the things that get in your way of getting the best results possible,
Yeah.
and trying to really simplify it. And that the performance equation is A times B equals results.
Mm.
And so the A's are everything that's in your control, like the skills that you've got right there and then. Not what you might have in like 2 days' time, in a month's time. It's what you have right there and then.
Yeah.
It's how well prepared you are. How have you ticked every box? Are you physically, mentally fresh or tired? How committed you are, because you're in control of whether you're really engaged or not. But then also whether you are correctly focused as well, because you're in control of your thoughts.
Yes.
If you want to take control, and if you have the right thoughts at the right time, and you're in control of those, so that plays an important part as something that you're in control in as well.
Yeah.
Control of. So the A's are everything you are in control of. The B factors, all the things that are out of your control.
Yeah. The noise. Yeah.
The noise, the things that might come up that are just you're not expecting at all. I put this in like in the business world, a negative B is you are in and around COVID. A negative B is you are a bricks and mortar store and you rely on foot traffic and people coming into your store to be able to, and it's been a super successful business, but that's what you rely on. COVID hits, totally out of your control, that everything gets shut down. And then all of a sudden you go from a lot of revenue to zero just about.
Yeah.
It's out of your control.
Yeah.
The positive B is you could be a business that mainly had an online presence. You're an e-commerce business. COVID hits, and it just supercharges your business because people can't get out and about, and you've got your supply chain, everything set up, like not thinking that was going to happen, but then your business gets supercharged, and you shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
So there's always, to every B factor, there's two sides. There's a positive one and a negative one, but again, it's out of your control. So for me growing up, I just believed and obsessed over A equals results. If I work hard enough and I train my butt off in the lead up to the weekend, to that game, that should guarantee me results. And then when I didn't get the results that I wanted, because it's going to happen, then I was like, well, I'm obviously not working hard enough.
Yeah.
So
you blamed yourself.
I'd beat myself up. Let's go. I've got to get back in the nets. I've got to train hard. I'm obviously not working hard enough. And I never put into my own internal computer that there are actually B factors that do get in the way, positive and negative, whether it's for me,
the weather,
the conditions, the opposition I'm up against, whether it's a good opposition, whether it's a not so good, whether my skills match up really well to that opposition, all these different positive and negative Bs that I just never really took into consideration at all. And by understanding, like deeply understanding, like that these B factors that are out of my control, understanding that they're out of my control, so that means, and the equation is correct, A times B equals results, then if I can't control the B's, that means I can't control results.
Yeah.
And that for me was so profound, because I was like, well, I'm worrying about results. But when is worrying about results ever made results better?
Yeah.
Well, never.
Yeah.
So why am I spending so much time worrying about results that it's something that's out of my control?
Yeah.
If I'm going to worry about something, I have to worry about bringing the very best A's that I've got, the things I'm in control of.
Yeah.
And that just lifted this huge weight that have been compounding on me since I was born.
Where do you think it actually came from initially? Was it just your desire that you wanted to be the best?
Oh yeah, I think so. That definitely was inside of me since I can remember.
Yeah.
But also that was the environment that I grew up in with my family as well.
Yeah.
It's like you got to
put in the work.
You got to work your butt off. Like my mum was a very good swimmer through her teens and through her late teens. She was one of Australia's best freestyles for a period of time, and then just missed out on the Olympics by one place in freestyle, and also it's backstroke or butterfly. I should know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mum.
Sorry, Bob.
She just missed out, and that was sort of like that's what I sort of grew up with. Is
you
got to work hard, but you like our family's sort of built around just missing out as well.
Yeah.
So that was me sort of like, well,
I'm not going to miss out.
yeah, well, I'm going to have to break through. I'm going to have to push through that ceiling.
Yeah, right.
And am I going to be able to?
Yeah, so you put that pressure on yourself.
So that's the pressure that just I like compounded on myself. And there's an upside to it because I worked harder than just about everyone that I was up against. I knew that was a way to be able to get past my opposition, individual opposition that I was fighting against to get a place in a team. But then that also meant that I put so much pressure on myself to perform as well. And I look back at like times where I didn't perform throughout, as a teenager as well, is because I just suffocated myself with fear of making a mistake.
But also doing too much.
Oh, yeah. That also.
What's one BEON principle that you use in your own life, whether you're speaking on stage or tending to your smoker?
Yeah, there's probably two that stand out the most. One is, what are the right thoughts for me to be my best, and understand that you are in control of your thoughts. Yeah. And if your performance is really important to you, then you have to take control of what your thoughts are to make sure they're the right ones. Yeah. And then when the wrong ones come in, and they're always going to come in, the fear of, once I get this wrong, once I make a mistake, then you have to catch those thoughts to know if I've got the wrong thoughts, then I'm moving further away from my chance to perform my best. Yeah. So catching that thought and redirecting it. And that's the complementary part of that is, what is my anchor? What is the thing that I need to jam into my head when the wrong thoughts start to come in? And that's the song in my head.
That's just, how do you catch yourself? And how often do you not catch yourself?
Yeah. Look, there's something recently over like a week or two ago that came out of the blue that I wasn't expecting. And it was actually, and this is like, and I know this information inside out, used to perform at my best. But I had a time where I didn't catch those thoughts. Yeah. I started to sort of get in a bit of a spiral. Yeah. And it was actually Lee, my wife, who was just like, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, you know that you're overthinking this. Just like, stop it. Yeah. You know what the techniques are to be able to stop it. Yeah. Right. And that was the jolt to go, what are you doing? Yeah. It's like, what are the things I'm in control of?
Where's Keith Urban?
That's right. Jam a song in my head.
Back in my head.
So even by knowing this information inside out, teaching it and using it to perform, there was still, because we're human, there's still a moment where like Lee had to remind me to go, what are you doing? Yeah. So.
But it is, at least you do have someone to go, hey, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, there is that person that can be reminding you. Yeah. What happens if you don't have someone to go pull yourself out of it? Yeah. Like that's where.
Exactly. And that's why I'm developing a product to do that.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. What's more stressful, a World Cup final or cooking meat, which you love to slow cook, for a group of hungry mates who've been drinking margaritas all day?
Oh, gosh. See, I would say a World Cup final is easier because I've got more understanding of what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. Whereas the meat side, and I would say hungry mates who've been drinking margaritas all day, I'd say hungry kids that have a meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
And my brisket hasn't gone through the stall and it's been stationary, the temperature, for like 2 or 3 hours, and the sun has got well down, and the kids, and I'm getting massive heat to go, what's happening? I'm like, well, if I pull it off now, it's going to be like trying to eat through a leather boot. Or I get it right and push through another hour or two, and it's going to be like heaven in a mouthful.
Oh, I can remember that one. And I know this is probably the time you're talking about, where it had been cooking for 12 hours or something, and the kids were starving. Yep. And in the end, you just got Uber Eats because it was just too hard.
Yep. You had to get, Uber Eats to go down to the chicken shop and get some chicken because it just... Yeah, it was not. Yeah, it was bad. That's happened. Well, it's a thing, trial and error. How do you learn? How do you get better? Yeah, by making some big,
but see, that's
big errors.
Like people get so hung up on failure, but I actually think it's like, as people say, you've actually had a crack. So failing is actually not a bad thing because you can actually learn from those failures as well.
I'd say failure, even though at the time it doesn't feel like it at all, it's actually a gift.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a way to be able to go, well, that didn't work.
What can I do?
What can I learn from it to be able to reduce the chance of that happening again? Or what can I learn from it so then it's only going to make me better?
Yeah.
So failure is, but so many people see failure as I'm a failure and I don't want that to happen. And then sort of just end up like falling into a heap and staying there.
Yeah.
Instead of, and look, there's no doubt, depending how bad failure is and how much of an impact it has on your life, it can take a little bit of time. It can take a couple of days. It can take a couple of weeks to be able to go, what can I learn from this situation, even though it is not a great situation I find myself in? What can I learn from it? Because then if you learn from the situation, it's amazing how every time you look back and go, if it wasn't for that,
I wouldn't have.
And if I didn't learn from that, then I wouldn't have the skills now to be able to really make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think the biggest failure is not having a failure, because it means you've been playing too safe.
Absolutely.
Like
100%. Yeah, a successful life is not in your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah. On a junket, which is what we affectionately call one of your tours. Are you the guy who's first to bed? Okay, let's do this like pre and post 2015. Are you the guy who's first to bed, first to breakfast, or the one in the corner who's having a last drink?
Oh, no, I was the one. I'm not sure about first to bed.
Yeah.
As in, I didn't go to bed really early, but I was normally, I was doing everything I possibly could. So like, even I think about like my time when I was playing Test cricket in the last sort of a couple of years, because my body was such a challenge to be able to sort of stay fit. Like a night of a Test match, I'd be getting dry needling done every night in different parts of my body to be able to try and just release my muscles. And then I'll be waking up first thing in the morning, doing my yoga, meditating, and doing what I need to do to get ready for a day of cricket. So yeah, I was doing everything I could. I would say though, and this used to drive some people nuts, I was normally the last person on the bus, which would drive some people nuts, especially like early birds.
Yeah.
I would get there like if the leave time was 7:30. Right, okay, that's the leave time. So I'd get there at like 7:29 and like 55 seconds. Right? So I'd be...
And why? What were you
Because
preparing?
I'm like, I was either preparing or I'm like, I'm not just going to go down and sit on the bus for like 15 minutes when I could be up here, wake up a little bit later, wake up 15 minutes later, or I could be... I don't know, doing what I need to do, not just
being annoying.
Yeah, or listening to music, just chilling in my room or whatever it is. So it's like, that's the leave time. So if you want me to be there earlier, set the leave time earlier. But it used to drive some people nuts. Is he going to be late again? No, on time.
No, he's on time. Right on time. Like right on time. One of the things that I thought was fascinating from your discipline was during COVID, when you were in quarantine, you walking 5 kilometres a day in your hotel room, just literally around the bed. Because I've tried to do that at the end of the day when I don't have enough steps and I need like another 200 steps to get to my limit. And I'm like, how can Watsy have done 5 kilometres in a hotel room over COVID?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about that?
Well, you do what you have to do to stay sane. Like that quarantine, I only did it once, locked in your hotel room. And honestly, like I'm very comfortable and I enjoy my own time.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks on your own, that honestly was like, that was torture. For people who aren't that comfortable, like don't like being on their own.
Yeah.
How that would have been so unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
So for me, that was just a way I needed to exercise every day.
Yeah.
And I need like walking. So I just put a podcast on, a business podcast, because I'm just launching my T20 Stars cricket equipment brand. So I just listened to a podcast and just walking around and around in circles, really. Not just circles, but it was like there's probably like, I don't know, 5-7 meters to sort of go around.
That's a
you do what you have to do.
That's a lot of time. Yeah. How long did it take you to do that?
Oh, the same time as normal. I just had to make sure that I didn't go around the same like direction. Otherwise, I'd sort of load up. Yeah, I'd load up my sort of one side of my legs.
Did you move the bed?
No,
Oh my God.
no. You do what you have to. Yeah, do what you have to do.
How do you talk to your kids about pressure, resilience, and bouncing back from mistakes?
It's one of the most important things that I do as a parent is, and I parent very differently now to what I would have before I learnt this mental skills information.
Yeah.
I'd definitely parent very differently. And now it's all about me just talking to them about, did you give it your best, or in the lead up to your performance?
Yeah.
Are you doing everything you can to be able to perform well, whether it's in exams, whether it's in a sport? And then most importantly, after the performance, especially when it wasn't a good performance, and as you're developing your skills, you're going to have a lot more not great performances than good performances. It's like, well, what was your preparation like? But then, like, did you actually give it your best? Like, did you bring the best version of you, whatever it is, and simplify it for your kids? And then what did you learn from it? What are the things, what didn't go well? So what are the things that we can work on?
Yeah.
Whether it's an exam, like, okay, that didn't go so well. What can we work on? Do we need to, do you need to go and talk to your teacher to be able to learn this skill? Or do we need, with my son, Will, with his cricket, okay, this didn't go exactly right.
Yeah.
So let's go to the nets and just work on these one or two little things.
Does he carry the same thoughts that you carried, that you have to do and be perfect?
No.
Or are you just helping him reshape that?
Yeah. Yeah. He at training and and even games, he wants to be perfect.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that suffocating his performance. He's right. Even like now when he performs, he's free.
Yeah, right.
He's free, and that's what I like when I'm coaching him.
That's amazing, isn't it? Like, just having that feeling of free and that freedom, rather than going, "Fuck, I've got to do this."
Yeah, and that's everything that I teach him from a cricket perspective. Is even when we have training sessions, is don't make. Well, we're gonna put some game pressure, so not making mistakes, not getting out.
Yeah,
but still scoring.
Yeah.
Still being free,
but
being free and trying to reduce your mistakes. Because most of the time it would be like, for me growing up, it was don't make a mistake. So that would mean I wouldn't be free.
Yeah.
And that's when you suffocate your own performance. So Will's, but he had that he's got that freedom, and he had that sort of freedom in his mind a little bit anyway before then I started to really work with him to be able to have that freedom.
Yeah. I think I really do like the after the kids have done something, asking them, what was your preparation? What did you learn? What could we do differently? Like, I mean, those three things are what we should be asking after, even just for us, reflecting on anything.
Absolutely. It's one of the most important things that any individual can do, whether it's as an adult, and especially facilitating those conversations with the kids. Yeah. Because then you're learning, you're stimulating like your child to be able to go, what happened, why did it happen, and learn from it every single time. And that just becomes their default process after a performance.
And do you know, I think it also helps build resilience, because I think our kids are so just not resilient nowadays because we do too much for them. Yeah. But by getting them to own a performance and thinking about what they could do differently, it just helps with their resilience.
Of course it does. Yeah, that's one of the most powerful things any human being can develop is resilience, their ability to be able to bounce back from setbacks, and they're always going to be setbacks. And the craziest thing about how society has changed and parenting has changed is around cotton wooling your kids to, I don't want them to feel pain. Yeah. I don't want them to fail. It's like, but then you're setting them up for failure. Yeah. Because they never develop the skills of learning how to bounce back from a failure. So then when failure arises, and it's always going to arise, they do not have the skills, they're not equipped to be able to deal with it, and they will fall into a heap. Yeah. And their ability to be able to bounce back, they might, but it's going to take a lot longer because they haven't developed those skills. And it is a skill you need to develop. And the earlier you set them on that path, the better they'll be at being able to deal with failure, because it's always going to happen.
Yeah. I still joke that I think I should set up a school called the School of Hard Knocks, just so that those less resilient people can come.
Can of cement.
Yeah.
We talk about can of cement, but the can of cement is giving your kids, facilitating those conversations, so they, in the end, they'll just do it themselves.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Why did it happen?
Yeah.
Was it my preparation? Was it actually just during my performance where I was a bit off?
Yeah.
My thoughts were the wrong thoughts. And then what can I do in the lead up to my next performance, or during my next performance, to be able to reduce the chances of that happening again?
I think talking about the thoughts as well, that's really important, because not many people do. Like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your mind? How can we change that as well?
Yeah, it's not just did you learn this maths equation?
Yeah.
Did you it's okay, you might have had that, but you were worrying about failing. So by worrying about failing and the anxiety builds, then it feels like you do lose that knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
Because you've suppressed it. Yeah. So you're like, oh my God, I know that, but I'm too worried about my results.
Yeah. What's one thing you hope your kids take from your career, and the one thing you hope they avoid completely?
The one thing that I would love them to take from my career is definitely around hard work.
Yeah.
That, to be as good as you can, there are no shortcuts.
Yeah.
You have to go to the ends of the earth to be able to work your butt off. But with that, and that's not just the technical skill, the knowledge that you gain, it's also in parallel working and understanding the mental skills and working on them all the time, because it is a skill. The more you work on it, the more you integrate it into your technical skill and knowledge, then it's a perfect storm. So that's absolutely everything that I'm working to be able to instill in my kids, because then you help them become bulletproof in a way. Because if other things come in, it bounces off them, because I've built this understanding of performance. So that, and the one thing that, oh geez, honestly, the one thing that I probably would say is never be comfortable. And I'm going to be honest, there was one time in my career where I was doing things that I dreamed of, performance-wise. It was around 2010, 2011, where I'd been through a lot of injuries and just everything. It just became a perfect storm, and I was just performing, batting and bowling like how I dreamed of being able to do it. But then I got comfortable enough to go, I've got this, and just sort of didn't continue to really.
Hang on, is that comfortable equal to cocky, or was it comfortable that you didn't push yourself enough?
Comfortable that I didn't continue just to look with little ways to get better. Like I sort of like, now I just got to maintain what I've got instead of continuing to, continue just to. And if everything was set up like I was bulletproof, then it is maintaining that, and that's a challenge. But I just I got a tiny bit comfortable, and then over a couple of years, then I got exposed enough, and I had to sort of try and catch up again.
Yeah, right. Okay. And the thing that I find really tough in thinking about how you can keep mentally preparing yourself and doing that work, what does that actually look like? Is it just sitting there and journaling? Is it then just thinking about what you actually want? What is it?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One is journaling for sure, around how did it go today, and being able to put it down on paper, not just the thoughts swirling around your mind, finalising your thoughts by writing them down, and debriefing all your performances and what your preparation looked like. So that's definitely one. But one of the most important things that you can do is also goal setting.
Yeah.
It's taking some time. It doesn't take that long to sit down and go, okay, if I could dream up the next 12 months, what does that actually look like? That's achievable, not just like a fairy tale, but actually something that's it's a dream if it happens, but it is achievable if everything goes well.
Yeah.
And setting that, but then once you set that, then stripping it back to day to day, what do I have to do day to day And that's not just work all the time. That can be, I need a recovery day to be able to freshen up mentally and physically. I need to actually get away for a week.
Yeah.
Or I need to source this person or this type of person because I need to develop this skill. So it's really stripping back every day. What does it look like? And if I do that every day, and also defining what are the potential distractions.
Yeah.
What are the things that could get in my way? And is it too much socializing? Is it getting a bit like in my comfort zone? Is it, and this is not in a bad way, is it family that could pull me away? But how can I then balance that? So I don't just go all in with this and then I don't have a family in a year's time, right?
It's finding that balance and working it out. How often do you look at your goals?
Like often. Well, I set where I want to go. Every 12 months and what the dream outcome looks like. And then it's like, what are the things that I need to do to get as close as I can to that? Again, these are the B factors that could come in your way. There might be some negative Bs that just hit hard, and it means you get nowhere near that goal that you set. But there could be some positives that just fall in your lap, and you shoot past those dream goals.
Yeah. If you could wave a cricket bat and change how we teach people to handle pressure or failure, what's the first thing you'd smash?
It really is as simple as the one question that is so profound when you ask it to people, and it's, when is worrying about the results made the results better? So stop worrying about results. Worry about the things you are in control of. Because as soon as people really deeply understand that, you can see that just that pressure is just removed immediately. They go, okay, well, if I'm going to worry about something, I'm going to worry about the things I'm actually in control of and bringing the best that I possibly can. Preparing for what the potential negative Bs that could get in the way. So when one arises, I could step through that a little bit easier without it having a profound impact on the result. But I just need to focus on the things that I'm actually in control of. And I know it's a cliche that's used in sport in general, is like control the controllables. And look, my coach for the start of my career was John Buchanan, and that's the one thing that everyone used to take the piss out of. And I didn't deeply understand what he meant by it. So I control the controllables. Everyone like, come on, John. But it really is, well, what am I in control of? And I need to take control of that. And if I do that, then I've given myself the best chance of getting the best results possible, and that's all I can ever ask of myself.
See, if the control the controllables were then coupled up with A times B equals results, it actually gives you that context. And I do think, like, even in just general life, we get so caught up in giving a shit about what other people think, where it is such a B factor that if you just focus on you and what you think and what you can control, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Like, that's it. That's all you need to do.
Simple.
Well
said.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay, rapid fire.
Oh, here we go.
Go-to barbecue meat.
Wagyu rump cap.
Oh, okay. Great. Tips for it?
It's
slow.
Oh, yeah. Like slow with smoke and then a sear at the end. Make sure you get the temp right with your thermometer.
Yeah, your thermometer. Most elite athlete habit you still have?
Desperate to be the best I can be.
Good. Secret junket indulgence? Golf.
Yeah.
But that's not secret.
I do love golf, but also on a junket, a cricket tour. It's probably, I feel like it's taking the piss if you're there and playing golf when you're actually getting paid to either coach or play. So I'm very hesitant. I'll wait until I'm at home.
Okay, so what is it then?
Yeah.
What's the indulgent then?
Oh, gosh. To be honest, going out to dinner every night.
Yeah.
Especially if there's some amazing restaurants around.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's hard to take.
Yeah. Your midlife mood in one word?
Excitement.
Why?
Because I feel so lucky to have gained the knowledge and insight that I have at the age of, I'm 44 now. to be able to then make the most of that knowledge that I have, but also then my network and connections to be able to really try and make a difference.
Good.
So, I mean, it makes me jump out of bed.
Yeah. Mindset is just, it's such, we know we've got to do it, but it's just so untapped because making it simple or trying to understand it, it's hard.
And that's the thing. I've got a few things that I don't are still like semi in the pipeline, that like towards the top of the pipeline. But there's some things, because it is so untapped, that there's some things that it's opportunities that wouldn't have been there if it wasn't untapped.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Can't wait to hear about it. If your mindset had a theme song right now, what would it be?
There's actually a Luke Combs song from his most recent album that he released. It's around like being a parent and being proud of who they turn out to be, whichever direction you go, whether you want to be, like he talks about being a musician, or whether you just want to do and go fishing or do something else, something you really love. It's like, I'm proud of who you want to be. So I'd say that's probably where I'm at right now as a parent.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So it was going to be a country song, was it?
Okay, always going to be. What's one truth about mindset reinvention or life after being in the public eye that more people need to hear and actually believe?
Understanding what the best version of you looks like.
Yeah.
So then you know which version you're chasing every time you go out to perform. We were talking about body language before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think about, like, if I really understood, I didn't understand that through a huge part of my career. For me to be at my best, my body language and my thoughts, which then turned into body language, would have been so different to what they were.
Yeah.
Which meant that I was so desperate to perform and get the best results I possibly could. But what I was doing was pulling myself in the opposite direction to actually me being at my very, very best. So by deeply defining the best version of you, then you know, like, you really know which version you're chasing.
Yeah.
So then when you start to go the other way, you just catch it and go, nah, I really want to perform at my best, so I have to be this.
I think that's a great thing. I don't think many people know even just every day, what is the best version of yourself?
Exactly.
The not yelling at your kids. It's the, having fun. It's the exercising, being fit. Like, I think so many more people need to define that.
Yep.
And it's not a big thing. It's just, what are the behaviours? What are the actions? What are the way you think?
Yep.
How can you actually be that best version of yourself?
That's right. And it's, as a parent, what's the best version of me look like? In my pursuits with my career, what does that version of me look like? Yeah. As a friend, like as a partner, what does that best version of me look like? And we're human beings. We're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. No. We're certainly not going to be at our best all the time. But by defining it, then you know what you're chasing, and then you know how to what you're critiquing after a bad performance.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
I love a reflection. Like, I just think it's so good because you just go, oh shit, I should have done that so differently, or I'm glad I did or handled it like that.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes a few times where you go, I've got to critique that better because I've done it again.
Oh, yeah. What was the trigger that got me to that point?
That's it.
Who said what?
Yeah.
Final question. Okay, Watsy, this has been half sports doco.
Yeah. You've done well, Dom.
Half mindset masterclass and a little bit of barbecue banter put in. But before we wrap, what's one thing that you dare me to push me out of my comfort zone, or for everyone that's listening, that before I turn 50, which is still in 2 and a bit years, something that gets me out of autopilot and pushes me, gets me out of my comfort zone, that I should be trying?
Look, I'm not going to say try and cook a 12-hour brisket.
Yeah, because that's not going to happen. Like, no way. That's what you're there for.
Yeah. This is not. Yeah, I've got a couple of spare. This is not really pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, but one of the most amazing things that I'm not sure if you have done this yet with your with Justin and the kids. One of the most special things that I've done in my life, to be honest, was I went out to Uluru.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And have you been to Uluru?
No, Hallie wants to do it for her 13th birthday.
So I went out there a couple of years ago, and I only took Will because of the opportunity I had to go out there,
Yeah.
and it was as a very like proud Australian, it was one of the most incredible experiences I've had in my life.
Yeah. Wow.
It was the experience we had as well was a real like cultural experience around the elders of the Uluru elders.
Yes.
I always thought the Uluru was just the name of the rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Uluru.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought it was that. But it's actually, and look, I stand to be corrected if I get this slightly wrong, so please, for the people listening, but this is what I took away from it, is the Uluru is actually the mob, the family of that's their area. So one of the elders who was there was Uluru. That was his last name.
Yeah. Right.
So it was one of the most special experiences as an Australian, and really starting to deeply understand the history of the lands that we were so fortunate to live.
Yeah.
And having Will there as well, I think he was 10 at the time. And I was 42 at the time when I went out there. So I had 42 years of not deeply understanding how lucky we are and how special our First Peoples of Australia are. It was
Okay. All right. I like that
an
one.
amazing experience. And I'm going to be taking Lee and Matilda out there as well to experience it, because it was one of the most special moments of my life.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that one.
So sort of out of your comfort zone. You can maybe camp under the stars or something.
Get jazzy.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Okay. All right. Watsy, thank you for sharing your journey, your honesty, your passion for helping people master their mindset, because I do think it is a skill we are not taught and we need to know more about. Even after having learnt so much about it, I still need the reminder, the what's your best version of yourself, like all of those things. And even just getting caught up on the B factors, because I think we spend so much time on those B factors when we really just need to be focused on the stuff that we can control and think about it properly so that we can put our best into those factors that we can control. And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible when we start training our mindset, and also the same way with our bodies. And even just thinking that we need to train our mindset in the same way that we do train our bodies, because we haven't put the same time, effort, and preference into doing it in tandem. The one thing I haven't mentioned before now is a massive thank you again for sending the note to my pop just before I passed. Because, it meant the world to me and my family. And it's so funny. When I go down to see Nan, which I do all the time, she always asks about you. And I'm like, can we just get over him? Like, seriously? But it's not only him, it's also the doctor. So, because the doctor was showing the video from you saying, such an amazing message. So thank you again for being amazing. And if you do want to learn about anything more about BEON, about mindset, around BEON Performance, I'll put all the links in the show notes.
Thanks.
And I'm sure there are some interesting announcements that are coming up soon.
Yep.
I'll put them in there too.
Yep. They're back into the pipeline.
They're just your best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you have enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe, share it with anyone who is into sport, who has kids to try and get their mindsets right, or just anyone. And before you go, I do think try this before you're 50, going to Uluru. Like, that is an amazing thing to try and do. So yes, it's on our list for 2 years' time when Hallie turns 13.
Yeah.
Give it a go. Get your mindset in shift, or in that whole learning and adaptive mode. And if you want to connect, just make sure you do, because fuck, I'm nearly 50, and isn't it amazing? Woo! Yeah!